sometimes when God does look at us, I think what He sees or what He wants to see is potential. So God looks at me and my potential. There's a famous verse. So if you remember the story where God is looking for a king to anoint over Israel, right? And then He goes to the sons of Jesse. Jesse has 7 sons, and the last son is David, of course. So a nice big muscly guy walks in, and then Samuel says to himself, surely this is whom God has chosen as king. And there's a very famous verse. I'll read it out. So Samuel says to God, is this the person that you've chosen? And then God says to him a very nice verse. I'll read it out. He says, do not look at his appearance or his physical stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. So God doesn't say, as people say, God looks at the heart. And as we know the story, God ends up choosing David, who was the youngest, the most skinniest, but the Bible says he was the most good looking. So God looks at the heart. So that leads to the point, what about me and you? I feel like sometimes God says about us, I want to use him or I want to use her, but they're not letting me. So every time I decide not to pray at night, or every time I decide to not read my Bible at night, I miss out on an encounter to be with the Lord. I miss out on being used by God. So God sometimes looks at me and He says, I want to use this person, but they're not letting me. We're not putting ourselves in the hands of God.